All right, Snow.
Cool.
We've got the
Your SP-101.
Yep, two and a quarter inch barrel.
Okay, cool. I've been ogling this. I kind of wanted the 3, but this is sweet.
You know, the 3. I'll tell you in a second what I think about that.
Cool.
Okay.
Am I going single action or double action?
I'd do single at first.
Okay.
Just feel the recoil, feel how the gun feels. I'm gonna do a side profile on this one here.
Oh, I went high.
So that's 38 special.
Okay.
Shooting high, I think.
Okay.
There you go.
First jam. Yeah, that was a 357 there.
Now, that's actually a very moderate 357 load. That's 158 grain, but it's loaded kind of down a bit.
Okay.
So we'll put a nice hot one in there for you in a little while. But
you know, I think this one probably would still handle it pretty well, even for the size.
it does. It's heavy.
It's awesome.
Yep.
And that's the stock grip, right?
It is.
One that came with
Yep.
it. Yep.
I've thought about putting a Hogue on there a couple times, but you know, it profiles it.
Right.
It patterns or it prints
On
so much more. Yep.
Yeah, this is really nice and minimal.
Yep.
Yet still feels good.
So
like
the difference between the 2 and 1/4 and the 3-inch barrel, velocity-wise, is almost nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very, very little. In fact, you don't really get much of a benefit in velocity until you go to a 4-inch.
Okay.
So your gain from 2-inch to 3-inch is very little, but your gain from 3 to 4 is huge.
It's huge. Okay.
Yep.
I thought there would be a significant gain or whatever, so that's why I was interested.
Yeah,
in 3.
I mean, you do get a longer, longer sighting radius with it. But you know, for the most part, I can shoot that.
Yeah.
You know, 25 yards, 30 yards, no problem.
And I wasn't too concerned on the sight radius. It was more velocity.
Feel the double action. The one thing about the Ruger is it's got a much cruder double action than like, well, I'll show you can compare that to the Smith I brought too.
Okay.
This one also failed to eject.
It just has a lot of stuff going on. But that's okay. I mean, you know, it's more of a tank, and you can do trigger jobs and stuff on those too, but
Right.
I just never really bothered. I think it's fine, you know.
I don't see any real.
That thing's probably had 3,000-4,000 rounds of 357 through it. So feel the timing on it. Wiggle the chamber.
Outlast you, though, I'm sure. Huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's an heirloom gun for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks for letting me shoot it.
Yeah, you bet.
Awesome.
Yeah, let's put some more through it. So.
Okay, we were just talking about rounds. I know, like 38 special. I think I've seen 158 grain is probably the highest. Maybe you might find some off the wall weird thing, but.
I think for 38 special, 158 is pretty
What about
high.
357 though? What
Now, Buffalo Bore has developed a load that's 180 grain hard cast.
Wow.
I have seen 200. I've seen up to 205 grain 357s. Now those were custom hand loads.
Okay.
And they're going to be really moderate because that round's going to that bullet's going to take up a lot of case space.
So you can't put as much.
So well, you can use a finer grain powder and still get quite a bit in there. But I think for the most part they load those down because of pressures.
Right. Okay.
So I think your hunting loads are about 180s.
Okay.
Yeah, and then but 158 grain will still do a lot of damage.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed in 357 shooting mine is the heavier bullets seem to have a little more recoil. At least to me, felt recoil. I think it's just because it's it's something to push against. It's
these are hand loads and they're kind of a medium load, so they're not full house or anything. They're probably pushing 500 foot-pounds.
Oh, okay.
So nothing really real heavy, and you're not going to get that much power out of this. You'll probably get 375 foot-pounds ish, so a little bit more than a 9mm.
Okay.
From this short barrel. Okay. But yeah, I mean, you're still, when you're shooting hard cast 180 grain, you're going to get a lot of penetration. 158, you'll still get a lot of penetration. The best man stopping round though is the 125.
Oh, for the
out of the 357. Yep.
Cool.
From out of a snub nose, at least in my opinion. Okay. So
cool.
That from my own testing, that's kind of what I found.
That's the that's the right velocity, right weight. Cool.
So let's do 5 357 loads. Okay. See how it shoots.
I think I'm going to try this in double action.
Okay. Yeah. I can feel that in my chest when you shoot.
Yeah, definitely. You feel that. That is awesome, man.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, if nothing else, that is an incredibly fun gun to shoot.
Yeah, it is. And you were saying that the double action trigger isn't quite as nice as a Smith, and that's probably true, but I really don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not bad. I mean, and granted, that one's been shot several thousand times, so it's been as worked in as it's going to get worked in.
Yeah, I think the tension on it's a little more.
Yeah, it is.
Stronger,
it's a heavier pull.
Yep. But,
yeah, that's the only thing. I would probably like to do a trigger job on it, but I don't know. If I do, I'll get a brand new one and do it all, work it all up.
Yeah.
That one's a workhorse, you know.
Cool. Yep.
So
awesome, man. I like it. I got to get me one.